many of our viewers are mentally unwell.
Don't just call out our viewers.
Yeah.
I was nervous, just really nervous. You're gonna sit down, you're gonna play this game and be funny now.
There was a year or 2 years where I was like, this is never gonna happen. I'm being trapped in this limbo. I will never be out of it. Why am I still doing this?
Florida man says he danced on patrol car in order to escape vampires.
So I actually know this guy.
Hello, I am Ian Hecox. You may know me from Smosh, but today's not about me. It's about two of my employees, perhaps favorite employees, and today we're gonna answer some assumptions about them.
Hi, I'm Tommy. I'm on Smosh. I work for Smosh. I'm a comedian in the Los Angeles area, and I'm a Floridian.
I'm Spencer. I am also on Smosh, and work at Smosh as the director of Smosh Games, which is somewhere I've been working for a long-ass time. I'm also Floridian.
That's right.
How did both of you start at Smosh? What was your first video?
Yeah, there's this Bored AF video. I literally don't know why. They were like, Tommy, go do that. But I did, but I went and did it, and it was very easy.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, it's so easy, but it was like, they made it easy, the people that I was with. And then DEFY shut down.
Yeah.
So I was in one video in the DEFY thing. And then
You were only in one video
I was in
before
one?
DEFY shut down.
That's correct.
Were you the reason why everything...
Yeah.
Don't look into it.
Do not dig.
That's a little sus. Spencer, speaking of sus, what was your first video?
There was this weird ass, and it was like rubber. It was this rubber ass, and it had a hole where the hole is, and they were putting different like scents in it.
That's insane.
And they were like, okay, now like go in and smell and guess what the scent is.
What the what?
What were we, what was
Okay,
going on
I did not
back
approve
then?
that content, just putting it out there.
I remember it was controversial like then, which like says something.
You're right, for them.
Yeah.
We'll just end it there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some assumptions.
Okay.
You automatically get to be on camera if you get a job at Smosh.
No.
No.
It took me years, you know, even in like a cameo sort of way. It was probably 2 or 3 at least, I would think. What about you? I guess, how long had you been working there before?
Let's see, I think in 2017, August, I believe was my first, that was back at DEFY. We had that, few months off. But when I came back, I think it took the full year until the crew Try Not to Laugh that I was in my second.
Oh, yeah.
And then from that moment, I was kind of like the swing.
Yeah, I remember that
I was like the last case scenario.
It's like, oh,
kind
someone
of person.
dropped out. Where's Tommy?
There's also a time in Smosh, I think post DEFY collapse when we were with Mythical, where our cast had kind of shrunk. So there were times when it was like, oh crap, like, if somebody called in sick, it was like we didn't really have like a backup.
Right.
Fortunately, like we have really funny people that are in the crew that can kind of step in.
Very true. And when the pandemic was at its maximum height and like least known, that's when it was like, oh crap, we have 4 or 5 people that we have always, we need other people. And I think you also got brought in to a few things at that time, but that's when I felt like I was actually being used as cast for the first time and not some guy. One
of the kind of sub-assumptions to this is that you can put yourselves in videos whenever you want.
Well, you cast.
I kind of can. So
you kind of can do
that's my privilege. I am uniquely privileged at Smosh because I am the director of Smosh Games. But, when I accepted the role as director, something I talked to a lot of people at, like during the interview process, was, trying to find that balance of putting myself in stuff where I think it would be stronger and like also, letting other people shine. I'll sometimes see comments like, like Spencer like put himself in this one because he like wanted to do this. I'm like, honestly, a lot of times,
for real, I did.
They'll be like, we'll be like, oh, like we want to play that like a game and we're all dressed as wizards. I'm like, well, I would like to dress as a wizard, and I know I can't always dress as a wizard for every video, so I gotta pick and choose.
Well, you're also very good at gaming, and you have that knowledge, and I mean, I feel like you are the perfect person to have that privilege because you actually do add to the videos when you are in them. I feel like you don't overstep that kind of boundary. You're like, it's well balanced. It feels, I don't feel like anyone has oh, Spencer put himself in a video. You know, it always feels very...
I've never gotten the feeling that like your ego got in the way of making the right decision for whether or not to cast yourself. I've never felt like you just were just like, well, I want to be in that one.
Internally sometimes.
You had to get used to being perceived by so many people.
Yes and no. I've been performing on stage and a little bit on camera since I was in 5th grade or something. So being perceived like being in front of an audience, it's different. Online audiences are way different than like a live comedy audience. But then like seeing like comments and like how people take it, especially lately now that I'm like actually really more a cast member than I've been, having like haters now is like awesome. It's really crazy.
And I think something that is scary for me, and maybe like a reason I don't cast myself more, is I feel like I can kind of hide behind that. Well, like, you know, if Spencer wasn't that good in a video, that's not even his main job. Like he's the director of the channel. Like, you know, he doesn't have to be the best. Like, you know, and if I was just cast, like if I'm ever hired as like just cast in something, like we were on the Dropout thing, and I was like, this is kind of my first time doing something where it's like, there's no like kind of role to hide behind. You're
hired
like,
as a personality.
It's like I'm hired to be like funny or entertaining, and that's really scary. The perception stuff was really hard for me at first, but not in an audience facing way, in the room facing way. Like I didn't like turning it on for like a room if like, you know, I was nervous, just really nervous to like, okay, like you're gonna sit down, you're gonna play this game, it's like and be funny now. And that was scary to be perceived in the room. I'm like, what if they think it sucks? And so that's like, I think even now I still will play to like, you know, if like Brennan's behind a camera and if I like hear Brennan laugh, I'm like, okay, we're good.
We got it.
I almost like the audience at home like does not feel real to me. Like almost ever.
There's like a light dissociation in a healthy way.
Yeah. Do you feel that way when we do our big like live ticketed events where there's
like a live audience?
People that are watching live on stream. Do you feel that same way?
No, even live streaming also feels like a little like fake in a way. And I think that's how I had to process it, where, you know, it's like, you know, you're ultimately playing to the person like sitting across from you. Right. I think once you start thinking about the audience, things change. Things really change.
I think about it in the same way. Like it's because I have issues with like public speaking and like, being in front of people. Like that's really nerve wracking for me, but it's never fazed me for a YouTube video ever. But let's move on to the next one. They have to hide their true sense of humor to fit in with Smosh.
Oh, I think no.
Yeah.
I fear not. I think you and I are very like, we dance at the line. We never cross it, but we're like, lee.
I think we've helped each other, you know, in that sense where it's like, I think we find kind of the same things funny. Yeah. Or like that same like envelope pushing, but I think we all help each other find the line. Like, and Ian too. Like, I think we all talk about it like before or after, you know. And the nice part of it is, you know, we're all involved in kind of every step of the way. So it's like, hey, I don't know if this worked or if this was too much. We can kind of talk to each other about it and get feedback, which is rare. But I think the fact that we all care about that is good. So no, I have not had to really
Me either.
change.
When I first got on camera, I made a deal with myself that I wasn't going to change a single part of myself for this on-camera version of me, because I couldn't live with like the idea of like splitting who I am and who I am on, you know what I mean? Like that weirds me out. So it's like, I know I will always be me. Yeah. Like I will deliver who I am. And if I just go in as me, then it'll always be me. And if it doesn't work, then I'm not supposed to be doing this.
So here's the next one. They didn't want to be on camera. It just happened.
No, as a performer and comedian in LA, I hate being on camera and I never wanted it. It's crazy that it happened. I moved to LA to work in comedy. That was the loose goal I gave myself so that I wouldn't disappoint myself if I didn't do that. So that wasn't the path that I saw myself doing. But once it started to happen and I was like, oh, this is kind of just like filmed improv. Like it's personality filmed improv and I can just be funny and make my jokes and all that kind of stuff. After 1 or 2 or 3 times being on camera, I was like, I love this. This is not easy, but like comes naturally. The assumption is actually the opposite. It's like I was trying so hard to make it work for me and for them, and it only recently kind of fell into place. I mean, this industry is people decide what jobs you have. There are people that go, you can do this, you cannot do this. They are the gatekeepers, they are the door people. There was a year or 2 years where I was like, this is never gonna happen. I'm being trapped in this limbo. I will never be out of it. Why am I still doing this? After I didn't have someone restricting me, I was able to, you know, have conversations, and now I'm on camera like I wanted. And I feel very privileged and excited and grateful that I, you know, stuck it out, and I love where I work and I love the people I work with. Like it all kind of like, it's like the reward of, you know, going through the desert, and now I'm just in this beautiful like ocean paradise.
I didn't start wanting to be on camera, and then I was editing Smosh games for years, and after a while, the old Smosh Games crew, they did this thing where they made it look really easy. They made it look like they didn't try at all, or, you know, that they could just sit down, play a game, and just send it out. And I was like, I can do that. Like, you know, after years and years, I think as an editor especially, you kind of build up, resentment's a strong word, but you almost build up this false confidence. I don't know if this happened to you, where it's like you watch so many like performances and you cut out so many bad things that you're like, oh, I could do this. Like, you know, I could, like, you know, if I were in this situation, I would do this. And then after kind of years of that, I talked to Matt, and I was like, hey, this was in between DeFy and Mythical, and I was like, I want to be on camera on Smosh Games. And he was like, you know, we'll work on it, because I hadn't shown any on-camera talent at all. And the first couple of videos that I was put in were kind of a disaster. Not a disaster, but
disaster,
you know,
for you or disaster for the video?
I would say both, I guess. Like, you know, because I was like, oh.
And then you were able to see yourself in these videos when you're editing.
Yeah. And I'm like,
is that when you kind of like realize like, oh, this isn't
I was realizing it in the video. Like I was like, oh, like there's I don't have anything to say. Like I have nothing to say, because, you know, part of it was shyness. Part of it was, you know, it's hard to talk and play video games at the same time. It's getting in the mindset, which I think we've all kind of had to do, being able to get in that mindset so quickly where it's like, okay, I'm on camera, time to be a little more outgoing. Because my default is just like, like I go home and I sit in a dark room for 15 hours every day.
That's so healthy.
Yeah. Luckily, they kept giving me enough chances to where I think I did come out of my shell a little more, and that's where I am today. But there was a moment that something did switch in me where I was like, I do want to be on camera because I think I can do it.
You found that push that you need,
Yeah, and I was like, well, you know, what comes after editing these videos?
I think both of us had that kind of like, this can't be the thing forever. Like, so I'm glad we found our next thing, which is the same thing, which is great. But yeah, definitely there was that, like, this is my job. I edit Facebook videos. Like, I work on the social team. Like, there's got to be more to this.
This is sort of related to when y'all both started being on camera, but they feel imposter syndrome because they didn't have to audition.
Can I say something crazy?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really felt imposter syndrome. I hear so many people complain about it, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh, I don't think anyone's like that special. Like I think if they put me in like a movie and like, hey, you're like the star of the movie, I'd be like, are you sure? Are you sure? But
you have reverse imposter syndrome where you're like, you chose me. All right, I'm gonna be me then.
Yeah, I have worked hard and earned a lot of what I have. Like I've also been super lucky. Like like luck plays a huge factor in my whole life. But I think I deserve this. That sounds crazy.
No, I agree.
Sounds crazy.
I think you do.
Yeah, like I don't think any of us don't. Like I can't imagine like if someone expressed like, hey, like I don't think like I'm you know, I feel like an imposter in this situation.
That's very sus.
I'm like that, bro, that's sus. Vote to kick, chat. Do we kick this guy?
Yeah, we kick him. Block him.
I don't.
The question being, have you felt imposter syndrome because you didn't have to audition? No. Like, not at all. Imposter syndrome in a kind of like in a way where it's like there are people that like have auditioned, especially more lately, where I'm like, oh, well, you guys are like super, super talented. Not that I'm not talented. I don't know. I don't know if it's...
I agree, because I was going to say it's the video where Amanda and I play your parents, when we play House Party.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of my first like small videos with Amanda, and Amanda is like a professional comedian. And I felt... I don't know if imposter syndrome is
But you're like struggling to like keep up.
Yeah, I was like, how am I going to keep up? I felt out of my league, which, you know, I guess is a sort of imposter syndrome.
I had a similar thing where I was like, oh, Shane's like
and Shane
comparative wise, which you shouldn't compare yourself to other people's journeys, but like Shane's on the Goldbergs and like Amanda's doing all this stuff. And all of us are fighting to do the same thing. Like we're all on Smosh as personalities. That's all of our... You know, they want to be on Smosh. You know, it's like we're all here together. We've all reached the same conclusion. There's no need to compare our skill sets, our histories, where we're at, because we're all happy and doing this thing together. Yeah. You know, it's like we all made it to this point.
They want to become full-time cast members and stop working behind the scenes.
Full-time cast members doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
everyone that is a full-time cast member has a secondary job to do. I feel like we are full-time cast members as we work full-time and are on the cast. We are looped into everything that's cast. We are respected as cast. We are invited to things, booked on things as part of the Smosh cast. So I feel like we are full-time cast members. But yes, I have social stuff to do, not as much as I used to. And like now you're in this great position to be able to cast yourself and come up with these awesome video ideas. So, I mean, even our other full-time cast members have jobs that they are expected to do. That just doesn't exist anymore. So I would love to never edit again. And I'm at a point now where I don't really have to, which is great. But I still have something to do, and I feel like if I didn't have something to do, I'd just be sitting around sometimes being like, why the f would they want me to just sit around? Now that that's not you have 3 edits a day and it's the reason why you can't be on camera, like breaking free of that restriction was important to me.
I would love to slow down, I think, on the behind the scenes stuff, but it's not possible really at this point.
Right. We're at a nonstop.
Yeah, because I would like to it's a game of choosing where to put all your energy into. That's not to say I don't love the director aspect of it. Like it's really fun to, you know, direct you guys and be in the room with you guys when you guys are playing a game and kind of like, you know, help you guys get in the mindset and also like, you know, camera or sound or editing, because all those processes are so cool to me. Like I love being able to pick anyone's brain about like, you know, any technical things. I did want to be like a filmmaker for a long time, and I think to do that you have to have an appreciation for every. Or you also have to know something about everything.
I think that's what makes you a great director, and I mean, fingers crossed, me like a decent on-set talent, because we've done multiple things. We know how it will look in the edit while we are filming it.
I think that's what makes a creator is like being able to understand the whole process.
Absolutely.
Lighting was the one thing I was like, I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean
Brennan, I was like, Brennan, you take that. I would bring him lights. I would hand him lights up on ladders.
That's good.
But that was if they were like, hey, like point this, like, you know, make a 3-point lighting. I would be like, I can't. I'm sorry, boss.
All right, we got a spicy assumption here. You ready? You guys ready for this? They want to leave Smosh and start their own channels.
The idea of doing something like that is cool. It's just so scary.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's taking such a leap of faith, or it's such a gamble where that I might start to feel. And again, I don't know if it's imposter theory, but it's like, you know, do I deserve this like solo platform? Because I've only kind of existed within the context of Smosh for so long.
Some would say that's imposter.
Yeah.
Because you're already on YouTube and you already are doing it.
But it's like, who's going to watch just me? Like, I guess it's like, you know, and what do I have to say? Like, I think in a group, you know, you at least have someone to talk to. Like, you know, and to me, the only time I really do feel insane is talking to a camera with no one in the room.
I think you could absolutely do it. I just don't know if you'd be happy.
I quit. No.
I think, yeah, I mean, a solo Spencer channel, I would watch it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it's you know, right now we have the support system, and it's such a collaborative workforce. I don't think I would ever want to leave that kind of thing behind. Not to be like, oh, I'll never leave Smosh, but it's like, why would I want to work solo? It feels so isolating. I don't have that level of confidence, I would say.
I guess I do.
Well, we're different.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. You do have your own channel.
I have my own YouTube channel, Tommy Bones. Check it out. I had this idea, serving where we look at stupid pictures of bullshit and decide whether it's or not. And I did it. I brought my buddy in who works with me all the time, who is a good producer. I fleshed the show out. We filmed it all in one day. That was me exploring, like, should I go do a solo YouTube thing?
But like even that show, like, and not that it's not your passion project, but it's like, I think when I think of like a solo YouTuber, I think of someone like in their room just with the camera.
Commentary.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so that's what you would do, probably.
Maybe. Okay. I don't really, I have a video essay idea. Maybe I'll work on that sometime.
Tried one of those. Remember?
On Smosh Games.
Yeah.
I think it's good. It was not on the right. I wonder if we pushed it again. Like if we were like, hey, like I think the climate's more right. Like I think the audience would want it more now.
Interesting.
Fun fact, there's a Tommy video essay on the Smosh Games channel. Go and find it. See if you can find it.
See if you can find it.
Sort by least viewed.
Yeah, literally.
Speaking of other times, the times before, here's an assumption. They missed the DeFi era.
No.
Kinda. I think so. Everyone is really fast to shit on DeFi. There are advantages to working in a huge company like that.
With endless money.
With endless money, where it's like, I mean, the shit they were, you know, Summer Games, it was like, well, here's the money, and like, all y'all get to stay here for you know, a week, and Spencer, you get to go. Right. Like Spencer, who is nobody. Like, and I was like, oh, this is fucking sick. You know, there were opportunities that come with having such a big company, and there's also, I mean, selfishly, you know, there's you get to be a little lazier. Because there's a huge machine pushing you, and you're all like kind of being pushed by the machine. Whereas now it's like, well, we kind of are the machine. Like it's like if I stop doing my work for a day,
Shit's gonna fall apart.
It's like, whoa, what happened?
Right.
Whereas DeFi was like, well, yeah, like there is a comfort from a big.
Yeah, the lines of accountability were not that strong.
Yeah.
In DeFi. There was a lot of there was a few people that were coasting.
Yeah, and I don't want to say I was ever coasting there because I was working really hard, but like, you know, there was still space to. I cannot emphasize how much Binding of Isaac I played at
that's awesome.
But it was because I would get my edits done early. Right. But it's like, you know, now it's like if I get something done early here, it's like, well, shit, like I better move on to the next thing so I can get even further ahead. But I guess like miss is a strong word, but it's like I have a lot of fond memories of that era.
There was good things.
Yeah.
Good things and bad things, yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's like, no, and also like I was also so far removed from the creative like demands of that big company. I don't have those like negative associations that I can only imagine how all of y'all old people, no, all of y'all, you know, there's people who've been there since the very beginning where it was like your baby. Like, you know, that's so different. Whereas me, it was just like, yeah, it's just a job.
I want to ask a couple questions related to cast, the rest of the cast. Working with the rest of the cast is intimidating.
No.
Yeah, at this point, absolutely not. At this point, it's like probably the best part of the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel so lucky getting to go in and work with such like non-judgmental, such talented but also non-judgmental people. It's such it's got to be so rare. Like, and I can only imagine, you know, how envious someone would be of that. It's like, you know, I get to walk in and like, you know, there's like Amanda and Angela, like, you know, goofing around.
Yeah, ready to play.
And ready to play. And it's like, and I get to walk right up and like, you know, be a part of that conversation and, you know, get paid essentially to like hang out with them. Like
and to flip it on its head, it's like some of these people probably were intimidated to work with us. Yeah. Because we've been there longer. Yeah. We know how things go more frequently. We know what the edit will be. Like,
Yeah, we have we know the whole process.
We know the whole process front to back.
In a way that, like, not for lack of interest, but, they probably still don't understand the full process because they haven't, like, they don't sit at a desk.
Right. They didn't get into, we all landed at the same spot. They didn't take the route of production to get to the spot. They have been freelance actors or whatever until they got to that spot.
So I think I know the answer to this. I think I know Spencer's answer to this next assumption. They have favorite cast members to perform with.
Ooh.
It's okay to play favorites, guys. I know it's not me, so I won't be offended.
I guess it kind of depends on the type of video.
Yeah, that's
like for something like this.
Well.
Tommy's like probably like the person I would want to do this with.
Thanks.
And then, like, it really depends on the thing. I mean, obviously, like, I'm always getting jokes. It's like, Spencer does these videos, like the guessing, like, movies and games from one frame, like, to hang out with Shane. I'm like, kinda.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? That's the beauty of what we have right now. It's like, it's fun to do with everyone. And every time you're almost like pleasantly surprised by every new combination.
Okay. Yeah. So diplomatic answer. Boring.
The different dynamics between people are always the most exciting thing. I feel like I've bonded
boring
deeply.
Boring answer.
I'm answering. I'm getting to an answer.
That being said,
there are people. There are people who have put time into knowing me. I love me some Courtney, Arasha, Amanda, Angela. Like, these are the people that I've spent the most real time having, like, conversations with. So it's like, also I feel like with Amanda and Angela specifically, like, we have that, like, performer in LA, trained, kind of background. Yeah. So it's like, we know what we can be like, well, I don't think we hit the game right. Let's go back and, like, okay, let's find the funny here. And we have a similar language or whatever. And I'm someone who, like, I respond well when people put effort into knowing who I am. Like, that also, like, comes up in, like, my relationships. Like, you need to ask me questions. I'm not going to force myself into something. So, like, I don't know. I love playing with everybody, though. Everyone's incredible and so much fun and so funny.
Ian's sleep over there. Yeah. No, but, like, I was thinking, like, dude, we streamed Clone Hero, and it was, like, just me and Courtney for forever. I was like, I forgot how fun this is. Yeah. Like, I forgot that Courtney and I have so much fun together.
Right,
and
you guys aren't going to answer the question, so I'm just going to move on to the next one.
Like, I do.
There used to be tension between Spencer and Tommy because of who memed it.
Huh?
Allegedly, you guys are roasting each other.
But I don't think I've ever...
No, I've never had
Mine was from, like, a place of homophobia.
Yeah, same.
I would, like, look forward to, this feels like such a, like, diplomatic, like, answer where it's like, no, I look forward to you roasting me.
No,
but,
same.
Like, but to me, truly, it's like, dude, like, what's he going to get me on? Because I think that was something that, because the roast has been such a, like, love language of Smosh. And I think Tommy and I really share that love language of roasts.
I love a good joke.
Yeah,
Make fun of me and give me a good joke.
And if the more specific, the better.
The better, absolutely.
And I think you and I both get that about each other. So like I've never felt. Here's the other thing. This could also be like kind of a hot take. I never felt like actually attacked by any of the roasts I ever got on any.
Me neither.
On any iteration of any funeral or any whatever we did. I always thought people went too easy on me, frankly, because I've got these things in my head.
We can ramp it up. So let's get to some silly ones. This one's going to be rapid fire. Being on assumptions is at the top of Tommy's hierarchy of needs.
No, I made a meme for Who Memed It that we had 3 characters on assumptions before me, a real human being, was on it.
This is true, yeah.
I thought that was
It's a banger video, check it out.
It was just like a silly little thing of like, okay,
So the answer is yes.
So the answer is yes.
All right, great. So next assumption, Spencer is low-key overwhelmed by all the simping for him.
Again, it's like it doesn't feel real. It's not like no one comes up to me on the streets like, Spencer, like, have my children. I do get some crazy DMs. I read that, I'm like, it's like a funny. It's like, it's like opening a fortune cookie. Like, what crazy shit is it gonna say? Yeah.
Tommy is sick of the gay mentally ill bit.
A little, not really. I mean, when I was first, I was the only gay person.
I'm gonna start. I think you still are,
or whatever.
I'm gonna start a conspiracy theory.
Okay, yeah. So it's like that was the bit that I leaned into because I was like, oh well, this is like my obvious thing that I can like put my perspective in there and kind of be like, see, I stand out.
My life, that's material, bro.
Right, exactly.
I think you've always been the captain of that ship, right? Because I don't know if anyone else has leaned into like, Tommy's gay and mentally ill, right?
Maybe me.
I mean, like, it's definitely something that I started, so it's like I'm not going to not take accountability for that. I think now that I'm more mentally well, I'm like, we don't need to keep, thank you. Like, we don't need to keep making that joke because like I'm much more, but I'm also like, many of our viewers are mentally unwell. Yeah. All of us are mentally unwell. I think that's a cool, relatable
don't just
thing.
Call out our viewers.
Yeah.
They both have been married to Amanda LEHAN-CANTO.
No comment.
It was a private ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're choosing not to answer? No comment?
Have you ever seen the show Big Love? It's like the opposite of that.
Because you're small.
She's Bill Paxton. Yeah, small love.
Small love.
Now we're going to get to a tier list. You're going to be ranking Florida man headlines, being that you are both from Florida.
That's crazy.
Florida man caught driving booty patrol truck facing charges.
Oh, that's low.
What are the charges?
Yeah, I wish I knew the charges.
Yeah. I mean, a booty patrol truck is pretty funny.
That's great. I'd give it like a C, probably.
Yeah, I think C.
Yeah, there's crazier stuff.
Did he have a female body inspector shirt on?
That would be great. He should.
That would have brought it to a B.
That would have been awesome.
Okay. Shirtless Florida man caught climbing tree like Tarzan after police chase.
Most Florida men are shirtless.
Yeah.
So that's not really
hot.
a qualifier. Yeah.
It's really hot.
It's really hot.
So to me, I get hung up on the climbing like Tarzan. Because to me, it's like swinging like Tarzan. Like when you climb a tree like Tarzan. I'm going to say another C.
Yeah, I would think the same thing. That's what I was going to say.
If he had swung as Tarzan, I think an A or a B.
Yeah.
Florida woman tries to bring 4-foot emotional support snake on plane.
That's an A.
That's kind of sick. Yeah, I'll give it an A.
Yeah.
An emotional support snake is really...
That's really funny because reptiles have no outward expression.
They're cold, like in every way.
Yeah.
Florida man attacked during selfie with squirrel.
First of all, relatable. I've done that.
With a seal.
I did that with a seal.
Florida squirrels are intense.
Florida squirrels are crazy. I'll say a B.
I was gonna say B.
We used to have them. They would shoot out of trash cans on my college campus. You'd walk by and like if you throw some out, and a squirrel would go up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Florida man charged with assault with a deadly weapon after throwing alligator through Wendy's drive-through window.
Okay, that's an S. That's sick as fuck.
That's classic. That's good.
The alligator's probably so confused.
Oh, he's like, what is going on?
And did nothing. I mean, that's what you learn about alligators in Florida. It's like there could not be a less intimidating animal once you see them.
Oh, their brains are like
peanuts. They purely just sit there.
Thousands of gun owners in Florida planning to shoot down Hurricane Irma.
That's A or S to me. That's just crazy enough to work.
That's like Florida logic where it's like, hold on, wait a second.
Florida man tries to rob GameStop while wearing transparent bag on his head.
That's you.
That's an A.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's a good one.
A or B.
Because he's probably choking. He probably can't breathe.
Yeah, maybe like the mist of his breath is what's obscuring the view.
Honestly, I'd be like, well,
yeah.
Florida man denies drinking and driving, says he only swigged bourbon at stop signs.
That's iconic. Good for him. I'm gonna say that's a B.
Yeah, for bourbon.
B for bourbon. Brinkin' and brivin'.
Florida men use spaghetti sauce to start fire after burglary, deputies say.
To start a fire? Yep. Spaghetti sauce?
I'm gonna say C because I don't understand. How would you do that? Is it flammable?
This is some Florida men physics.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is beyond our understanding of Florida.
Yeah.
And thermodynamics.
Yeah.
It's possible maybe they threw some spaghetti sauce on like a junction box or something.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
What'd we say B?
I say it's C.
C? Okay. C for
even though they figured out a new way to start fire.
Give me enough spaghetti sauce and enough time.
Okay.
I can make anything.
Just rub it together.
Yeah.
Here's the last one. Florida man says he danced on patrol car in order to escape vampires.
So I actually know this guy. No.
That's smart, maybe.
I don't think it's smart. I don't see the logic in there. It's such a logical leap that it's like, how would he escape?
By dancing?
By dancing.
Well.
Maybe if he had gotten in the,
Are we
it's
dancer?
like, or are we vampire?
Yeah.
That's what the killers, so, the killers, I think, posited the theory where it's like, there are dancers and human.
Uh-huh.
And where's vampire on that scale?
Oh, that's what they were saying.
So he was saying, I am not a human, I am a dancer, so why would you attack me? S. I've talked myself into an S.
You've very much confused me, so I'll say S.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that does it for our tier list. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Very good. Very good.
Spencer, Tommy, I think we've cleared up all the assumptions about you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
We beat the assumptions.
Anything you want to plug?
Go watch Smosh games. Stay tuned for my I have a theory. It's like if you talk about something enough, like I'm gonna do this, like you kind of have to do it. So like, hey, well, keep your eyes out for my video essay.
Go watch my YouTube channel, Tommy Bones. I've got 5 episodes of Serving out right now, and 5 more coming before the end of the year. So stay tuned. They'll be out soon. Very fun.
You came from like the production side of things, right?
Like the social side.
Because I remember, because I remember like you had like a desk like right outside like
of the writer's
office.
room. Yeah.
And you were working on social stuff, right?
That's right. Did you ever catch one of my farts?
Did I catch one of your farts?
Did you ever walk past and experience
what were you
the
eating?
Notorious Tommy fart?
No. Did you have notorious farts? Do you still have notorious farts?
I mean, please put a fart against mine. My fart's gonna win.
Oh, okay.
No, I was in my too much protein era, so I
think everyone was back then.
Yeah, it was crazy back then.
It was a lot of protein, a lot of like hot sauce going around the office.
Yeah, it was a wild place to ingest anything.
What was that protein ice cream? Oof.
Oh god,
that shit sucked.
Yeah, that's like a. Anyway,